Good Tuesday evening, everybody. I'm KHOU 11 meteorologist Tim Pandages. Want to break down the forecast for you going forward. A little bit bumpy tomorrow morning with a front coming on through the area. Well, really a trough of low pressure. The cold front associated with it doesn't get here until tomorrow night. That comes through with little fanfare. The trough, however, will likely have some gusty winds, some thunder and lightning. Not the best timing during that morning commute. I'm going to break through it all for you right now. Break it down all for you right now. All right, here's how things look currently. Satellite and radar, not much action. All of this off to our northwest isn't even reaching the ground. I checked the radar sites out around Austin. Maybe a sprinkle in some of those areas. Not much, though. Certainly not as much as what is showing up there. That is not the main event. Our system that we're watching, the center of it, is up over the Great Plains right now. It's got a cold front dipping down to the south along it and a lot of moisture and a broad overall spin, but it's got a lot of energy to work with, and that's why the severe threat to our east and to our north is substantial, and we'll go through that in just a minute. Now, as we go through future track, going into tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., I think this is a little bit behind schedule. I think this will mostly be set up a little farther to the east, but we've got a line of showers and thunderstorms. It's also going to be much more narrow than what's shown here. This is kind of making it seem like it's going to be a lot more than it actually is. However, the severe threat will be out in Dallas tonight into tomorrow morning and then to our east into tomorrow evening and overnight. It's a quick mover, which is the good news. It's in here early in the morning, gone by lunchtime, and we're actually going to be left with a really nice afternoon. Skies will rapidly clear out, and it will be a warm day too because the front, the cold front, hasn't moved through yet. That comes in tomorrow evening. That's when our winds shift, drier air pours in and sets us up for some really nice days Thursday and Friday. Tomorrow will be a warm one though, and then things clear out Wednesday evening. So here's a zoomed in version of that model. See, I said it was much more narrow than what it was showing on that model. There it is, a very tight line of strong winds, some very heavy rain that'll rip through the area. Here we are at 5 a.m. It starts to press into our northwestern cities and counties. By 7:30, the morning commute now underway, moving into Brenham, over to Columbus. It may even be set up a little bit farther to the south and east by that point, so it could be through Tomball down to El Campo and pressing towards Katy and Sugar Land. 9 a.m., it becomes a little bit more spread out and scattered. Within this could be some heavier or stronger cells. That's where we'll have the gusty wind threat, thunder and lightning, and brief heavy downpours. And then by late in the morning, by lunchtime at least, it's all gone. So it covers a lot of ground over a relatively short amount of time. That window, 5 a.m. until lunchtime, skies clear out, as I said, and here we are at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We're in the mid-80s, sunny and dry. It'll also still be a little bit more humid, too. So here's the breakdown of the threats. 5 a.m. until noon is that window of opportunity opening on up. We're mainly just concerned with strong winds. Some of those cells, stronger cells, could have gusts of 55 miles per hour or greater. Not concerned about hail, not concerned about flooding because it's moving so fast it's not going to have time to drop flooding downpours and overwhelm drainage basins, and not concerned so much for the tornado threat. That's really to our north and eventually pushing to our east. And I'm going to show you that Storm Prediction Center outlook right now. Off to the north tonight, level 2 in the yellow. Remember, it goes up to 5 levels. Keep that in mind because as we go into tomorrow, specifically tomorrow night, look what happens. It shifts well to the east. We get clipped north of I-10, east of I-45 with a level 1 threat. This is early in the morning with that line of storms coming through. But then into the evening hours, look at this. A level 5 threat, right? Goes up to 4 here in the red. A level 4 threat for the entire state of Mississippi. The biggest concern here obviously will be tornadoes, but also widespread damaging wind gusts of 70 or 80 miles per hour just because of how fast the system's moving and the amount of energy it'll be using to plow on through the deep south during tomorrow night. So likely going to be a lot of damage reports and a lot of people impacted by this. Here locally, rain from this, I mentioned it's going to be moving very fast. It's not going to have time to drop a lot of rain. We could use the rain. Been very, very dry, but maybe we'll squeeze out 1/3 of an inch, 1/2 an inch if we're lucky. Most likely for that will be to the northeast. Here's our drought situation. We get a new drought report every week on Thursday, so we're going off of last week's. 88% of Texas is experiencing worse than a moderate drought, and that includes most of southeast Texas. Moderate drought all along our coastal cities and counties. Till we get some widespread soaking rain, that does not look to improve. And that is not good news for the wildfire situation. Here's our next 3 days Tomorrow, the morning storms gone by lunch, 86 in the afternoon, sunny and dry. Lower humidity for both Thursday and Friday, 70s. Not too bad at all. Now, the dry conditions will replace the humid air that's in place right now behind the front that you can see it surging on in by Wednesday afternoon and evening with the actual passage of the cold front. The dry conditions, of course, not good for the drought, not good for the wildfire situation. Red flag warnings in every county in red. Right on through the next couple of days. Fire weather watch up for portions of southeast Texas. And that's due to the fact that conditions will be conducive for more fires to spread rapidly. Extremely low relative humidity, gusty winds, and no formidable precipitation in sight to kind of soak up some of these very dry environments. All right, a recap of today. 82 is our high, above average. 77 is where we should be. Still, we're in the mid-70s with our winds out of the south that have been breezy today. Gusts right now still up around 30 miles per hour. We've got a wind advisory up for most of the area straight through tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. That's for outside of any of the storms that come through to still see gusts 35 to 40 miles per hour. Once that line of storms pushes on through and the front clears, winds will start to die down. Unfortunately, it is blowing around the pollen. Tree pollen extremely high still. In fact, oak, the count today was 1,400. Moderate grasses and moderate weeds as well. So tomorrow's forecast, a stormy morning with gusty winds being the main threat. By lunchtime, we're clearing on out. A nice afternoon. It will be warm and dry air begins to pour on in later in the afternoon too. There's your 7-day forecast. Not a bad one. We've got beautiful days Thursday and Friday. Saturday in the weekend, not bad either. We've got a 20% chance of an isolated shower on Saturday. A little bit warmer and more muggy too. A little drop on Sunday at 79. And then next week, warm and muggy. And our longer range outlook pinpoints a time frame Tuesday, Wednesday, the 5th, to look at our next chance at maybe seeing some storms. So right now we've got a 40% chance on that. Of course, we'll have to watch it as things evolve going through the next 7 days. But until then, tomorrow morning seems to be that hot spot. Watch for gusty winds, window 5 a.m. until noon. We'll see you at 10.